Hello, everybody. Today I'm here to share with you some tips on how I prepared for my CAE exam. And CAE means C1 Advanced English. And as I'm recording this, I have already taken the test like 3 days ago, but I hope that these tips may be still helpful for some of you that maybe are planning to take the exam next month or even just in the nearest future. So I started preparing for it like not even month before, because I was signing up in the beginning of July, and my exam was on July 28th. So I had like 4 weeks to prepare, and the part I was scared about the most was reading and use of English, but I will get to this in a minute. So some of you may ask if preparing for a language exam in around a month, if this is even doable, and I will tell you yes, it is, but it requires a lot of work. Even if you feel really confident with your English or another language that you want to have test on. So first, CAE has like this is for 4 main parts. So as I said before, reading and use of English, this is self-explanatory, and you just have some texts and questions based on them. Sometimes you will have to fill the blank or transform the sentences. This is pretty okay, I think. Next, we have writing, and comparing to the end of school exam that I had this year, here on CAE you have to write 2 pieces of writing, not only one. And the first topic you are given, and for the second one you have 3 options to choose from. In my case, for the first topic, we had an essay, and the 3 that we could choose, these were a letter, a report, and proposal, I believe. I chose the letter. And then you have listening. In my case, it was about 40 minutes. And mainly these were multiple choice questions, or there was one where you had to match some things together. But I remember there was 1 or 2 when you had to complete the sentences with, most of the times it was 1 word or very short phrase. And then, of course, you have speaking. It wasn't really that different from the Matura exam for me. This is the end of school exam in Poland, and the spoken one was just like half shorter than this speaking exam on CAE. And what is also different, there will be another candidate with you, so you're just working in pairs. Sometimes there can be a group or a trio, but on the day when I was passing this, they just made the pairs, and yeah. Just like in the beginning, you have to say some things about yourself. They will ask you your name, where are you from, how long have you been studying English and why, what do you enjoy the most about studying English, just basic things like that. So it's just a little warm up. Then you will have three pictures, and you have to describe two of them and answer two questions. And then your partner has to tell something about the pictures you just described. They just have to answer some more questions. Next, both of you will be given a paper with a little scheme about the topic. In my case, we had to discuss in which of shown areas of life it may be most difficult for people to make decisions. So we had like education, shopping, traveling, work, and relationships, I believe. And we just had to talk to each other and discuss this. And then the examiner would give us some more questions to discuss, to ask about our perspectives and so on. The whole process was maybe like 15 minutes. And speaking of that, the most important thing I think many people will tell you when it comes to the speaking exam, you have around 1 or 2 minutes to elaborate on things. And even if you finish earlier and you say everything that you want to say, just make something up. Just keep talking until the examiner will say thank you. Okay? Just make something up, whatever, elaborate as long as you will be thanked. Okay? Just you cannot just sit there and say I'm finished or just sit in silence. It's better to say anything more, just elaborate as much as you can. So now to the other parts of the exam. When it comes to reading and use of English, I would suggest just doing practice papers as much as you can and just learning by experience, because this is the best way to learn these things. And this is going to be difficult, really. You need to pay attention to details, to really, really small details. That's, I think, with some text we had on this exam or that I saw on the sample test, probably even if I was given the text in Polish and asked about this kind of details, I would have to take time to really think about this. This is how detailed this may be. It's just a really nuance, and you really have to guess sometimes, because it's just this little tiny thing that can be interpreted in some sort of way, and this is your answer. But also, when I took a lesson on italki, like not sponsored, but I highly recommend, I had like 2 classes, and my teacher gave me some tips to the specific parts of this part of the test. When it comes to this exercise, when you have a text with some sentences taken out of it and you have to put them back, just the best thing to do first is to read through the sentences or paragraphs that you need to put back and summarize them in like 1 or 2 sentences to get the main point of what you are reading, and this will be way more easier for you to read through your summary than to read through the whole little paragraph trying to find the answer. And just skim through the text first, but focus on the sentences before and after the gap. Just these are the sentences that you should analyze with the highest dose of attention. Like, sorry, my English is not working with me today. Today, when I wanted to record, also please don't mind my dirty mirror, sorry. So, when you have to assign the letter from the text, like you have text A, B, C, D, and like around 10 questions asking you in which text the author says something, or in which text something happens. Just the best thing is to skim through the questions first so that you know what to look for in the texts. And the best thing is to highlight the parts in which you may find the answer and check yourself if this thing that you underlined or highlighted, if this is really correct or if it was just a first guess. But still, this is going to be difficult because it is about nuances. And with practice, you will finally get it. And as for me, in the beginning of July, I was so scared thinking that I'm not gonna cope with this part of exam, you know. But when I got the test paper, like this part was like, I won't lie that it was completely easy, but it was doable, really. So, the second part is writing. We had 1 hour and 30 minutes, the same was for the reading and use of English, for 2 papers. And also, another thing I need to mention, you write the part about use of English and listening with a pencil. Like on the test paper, you can use pen, but when transferring your answers to the answer sheet, you need to have a pencil. The writing part is the only one that you do completely with pen. Like, this is just a detail, but I thought I would include it because I myself, when I was getting ready for the exam, I was really doubting if I even need a pencil. I just wanted to take like 5 pens, and then I took the pencil luckily. So just remember about pencils, okay? And with writing, you just get an answer sheet and you need to fit in the number of words between 220 and 260. Not under, not above this. Because you may lose around 15% of the points. So it's better to really count the words. So the thing that you need to focus on is the type of language you're writing in. So you can get a tutor to check your essays and to tell you what you need to improve. And the same thing is really with the reading and use of English. Just get someone to practice with, someone that will correct your mistakes. And if you get a preparation book, it's also really great to have some language partner or teacher, and you can ask them if, like, at some points 2 answers may feel correct, but there's this one thing, like when it comes to learning grammar, I wouldn't tell you to just learn the grammar and cram all the rules, because this will be not useful. Just do practice examples, just some exercises, maybe from your school book, from some workbooks, or search something in the internet, because you can really do this preparation for free. Because I know how expensive is just taking the exam. Just my wallet hurts. So you don't need to take classes, but if you search in the internet, you will have tons of videos on YouTube with useful adjectives, nouns, and verbs, or maybe some idioms for C1 or C2 exam. And for listening, I would only tell you the same thing: practice. Find some sample tests and consume as much content in English as you can. Whether YouTube videos, especially for about the exam, or just normal content, vlogs, shopping hauls, whatever you like to watch. Watch this in English, or maybe some Netflix series, movies, or shows, anything. And read as much as you can. Also, I think the thing that really helped me was that a few months ago I started reading my Bible in English. Because for my birthday I asked for an English Bible, and this really helped me to get some more complicated ideas. And if you can find some English books in your local bookstore, just go buy it on in the library. My library has this one section with literature in like 4 or 5 languages. I believe there was English, German, French, Russian, and maybe Spanish or Italian. So if you can find something like this is a really great tool. And you can switch your phone language to English just to surround yourself with a language, because I don't know how this can be in your case, but when I went to the exam in this exam center, all people, all supervisors were talking to us in English. I know that they were Polish, but they only talked to us in English, and told the candidates to talk to each other in English even during breaks. So you will be surrounded with the language all the time during the exam. So just be prepared for that. If you don't feel comfortable with conversations in English, just try to surround yourself with the language in advance. And another good thing that I'm going to recommend is this little thing: English Thesaurus. This is just a book where you have some English words explained in English. So you have some divides by topics. So, for example, you may have some archaeological stuff, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and stuff like that. So you can learn this, and I get myself a notebook where I did practice tests, and you need 60% to pass. And I just wrote the explanation from the thesaurus, or I just wrote a Polish translation if this was easier. And I just did as much tests as I could. And basically, this was my whole preparation. And when I booked my lessons on italki, I chose the native speaker. So just it really forces you to think in English, because it's the only language you can speak with this person, actually. And this is a really good string, and you will be so proud that you are able to communicate with a native speaker. So that's it for today. Once again, sorry for the dirty mirror and shaking camera, but I hope that it helped. And if you're planning to take CAE soon, just good luck, keep going, do your best, and it will be okay. So, see you in the next video. Bye.